Hey, what's up? It's Alyssa. And I was actually thinking about something recently about how I really want to talk to you guys about this thing called a queer activist collective. As I mentioned in my most recent video, which I made like yesterday, I was talking about how I'm in this group called Q at school. And a bunch of my friends started it, and I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you its importance, and I'll tell you its significance, and all that. So basically, we have at my school this group called Spectrum, which is a gay straight alliance, which is cool because I think every school should have some sort of an outreach, a safe place, whatever. And there you go there, and they talk about interesting topics, and they discuss stuff that's awesome. And there's nothing wrong with a queer activist, with a gay straight alliance. But a bunch of my friends were talking once we started learning and hearing about gay history, and we found that the most productive, most amazing things tended to happen and tends to happen in the queer world when people start to take action. And so that's what I'm talking about right now, is taking action versus just talking about stuff. So, for example, I think the ball got rolling once. Joe Salamani is the president and like they think the director of the Human Rights Campaign, and he actually is a BU alum. And he came and he talked to the Gay Straight Alliance about what it means to take action, and what it means to participate, and what it means to be involved. And I think it got the ball rolling, and people started thinking about things on a whole new level. And then we had this lecturer come in. His last name is Abalov, and I forget his first name, but he was talking about this thing called the gay liberation movement, and how it was like out of the closets and into the streets, and that's how Pride started, and people like, the Stonewall riots, and people started rising up and acting against oppression and whatnot. And sorry. So I think it's important that people start being active in their mindset. So my friends put together this group, and within 2 weeks we had about 40 people show up. And it was incredible. The difference between talking about things that we have issues with and opening and voicing concerns and actually doing something about it. And one of the coolest things that we done last semester was we had, there's like this trans awareness week, and we had a couple trans people talk. Kai actually visited me, and he actually spoke in front of my entire group, which was amazing and nerve-wracking but awesome. And my friend Mike is trans, and he did the same thing. And basically what we did was we had someone from Massachusetts Equality come and talk to us and tell us what was going on with the trans world, and how there are very limited resources and rights given to people in regards to the workplace and stuff like that. So what we did was we wrote handwritten letters, like 50 of them, and sent them to Therese Murray, the person who's in charge of the trans rights bill in the Massachusetts State House. And we called up Scott Brown's office and requested that Don't Ask, Don't Tell would be repealed. And as our senator, we just added our names, and we all collectively kept calling and calling and calling and calling and calling. And he ended up voting as a Republican. Scott Brown is a Massachusetts Republican senator, and he voted yay to pass the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. So obviously, taking action, every vote counts. And that's the difference. And so little things like taking an initiative, putting groups together to change lives. Right now we're working on a gay prom. What we want to do is have all the different GLBT alliances and queer groups on every Boston campus we can think of come together for a gay prom. And we're just doing stuff to raise awareness, and I think there's something to be said about the difference between just talking and acting. And it's not the 60s and the 50s, the 60s and the 70s when people were rioting in the streets and, anti-war and protesting in college campuses and left and right. It was a different time back then. And I think people now take different approaches with all the technology that we have. Just, YouTube is an amazing place, and, online and Twitter and all these things. Like Obama was able to get like 40 million something dollars via people funding his campaign via the internet. So that alone is so strong and so powerful. And I feel like, I'm just wondering, is anybody else part of some sort of active queer group of any sort? And what kind of stuff do you guys do? What kind of stuff do you guys propose to do? What kind of stuff can be done? Massachusetts already has gay marriage, but there's plenty other initiatives that could be taking place, that could be happening. So I guess my question to you guys is, what kind of steps further can my activist group of college students do to raise awareness for certain things? And what kind of stuff have you guys done in the past to change lives and make shit happen? So I'm just curious. You guys can let me know. I'm in a good mood. I'm ready to be back on YouTube asking questions, getting answers, and I hope everybody's doing amazing. Yeah, so let me know. Bye, guys.